In this video, we're going to talk about transitions, which would basically be fading effects, maybe at the beginning of a clip, or movement between two clips. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull down some clips here of a dancing girl, and I'm going to use the scroll wheel on my mouse to zoom out a little bit. And I'll grab this other clip and pull it down. And by the way, these clips do not have any audio with them. That's why we don't have any audio waveforms down here. And as it stands right now, when I play these, what will happen is this is called a hard cut, where it's basically going from one shot to the next, and it's not very attractive. I'd like to have a nice little fade in between these. And the simplest way we can do this in Sony Vegas is just grab one clip and drag it into the next. And you'll see this little time code in the white box, and that's telling us how many seconds and frames this transition will last. Now, normally you'll want to transition to maybe around 1 second or maybe even a half second, which would be just 15 frames. But to illustrate this, I'm going to make it really long, like a 4-second fade or crossfade between these clips. So now if I play this guy, you can see we've got this nice little slow crossfade in between the clips. So that's how we would do a crossfade between two clips. And I'm going to pull this out for right now. But what if we wanted, for example, this clip, if it was by itself, to fade in? Well, there are a couple ways we can do this. The simplest way is to simply make sure this guy's selected, go down here and click on fade. And that's going to add these little half moons to either side. And what we can do is we can go over here and I can click and drag and adjust the length. So again, if I want like a 4-second fade in, what this will do is it will slowly fade in. Same thing with the fade out over here, or if I didn't want that fade in, I can move it all the way across like this and it won't fade in at all. Okay, well, let's say I want to transition between these two, but I don't want it to be a fade. I want it to be something fancier. Well, that's where we go to transitions in Sony Vegas. And under transitions, there are a number of transitions available. I won't go through them all, but basically they have a number of presets, and you move your mouse over them and you can see what the effect is. So say, for example, on this one, I want to do this 3D blinds where it spins. I would just grab this guy and pull it into this little area with the X, like that. And that will come up with a window where we can actually adjust certain things with the transition, or if we wanted to grab one of the other presets, we could as well. I'll use it as is, and we can preview it. And that's what the transition would be. So that's how we would use Sony Vegas's built-in transitions. But another cool thing you can do with their transitions is that you can use them to add movement to stuff in your videos. So as an example, I'm going to highlight this clip and get rid of it. I'm going to go back to my project media, and I've got this graphic here with a transparent background. And what this graphic is, if I pull it down here to the timeline, it basically just gives a title and it gives the dancer's name. And what I'd like to have happen is for this graphic to slide in when the video starts playing, and then towards the end, slide out. Okay, and we can use transitions to do this. But first things first, I need to get this guy on top. Okay, so how am I going to do that? Well, first I'm going to go ahead and delete him. And I have a couple of options. For example, if I pull this guy down to his own video track like this, okay, again, whatever's on top is going to cancel out whatever is on the bottom. If I can get this guy to move, there we go. So I'm not going to see that graphic at all. I need it on top. I could grab this track header, click, hold, and drag up till that black line changes, and now it's on top. That's one option. Okay, I'll go ahead and delete this. Or the other option is, I'll pull this down to the same track. I can right-click down here and choose Insert Video Track. And anything that's not audio will go in a video track. Audio goes in an audio track. Video, text, pictures, everything else goes in a video track. So I can go over here and grab this guy and pull it up here. Now you notice that it automatically had a fade added, and that's because I had this guy checked. If I go over here, the fades will go away. So what I want to do at this point is, first I want this to span the entire length of the video. So this is what it looks like right now. But I want this guy to slide in and then slide out. So I'm going to go to transitions. And I just know beforehand that the one I want is called slide, and they have presets for me. So I want this to slide in left to right, and they have a preset right here that will do that. And I have a couple of ways where I can add this. I can click it, drag down, and because my screen is reduced, it's a little trickier, but watch the cursor change as I get down here, hopefully. Okay, it'll change like that. Now I can just drop this guy in here like that, and the transition's there. And this is sometimes the quickest way to work if you're using, Vegas on a full screen like I'm not. But if you have trouble doing that, again, you can always simply go to the fade, which will make it a little easier for you. Now I can drag this guy across and make him longer or shorter. So right now the slide in is going to be about 2 seconds long. So if I hit my home key, moving the playhead to the beginning, and I play it, you can see the graphic will slide in. Okay, now towards the end here, I want the graphic to slide out. So what I'll do is I want it to slide out top to bottom like that. So I'll click this guy, drag him over here, and again, I can wait for my cursor to change, or I can select this fade option like that. Pull this fade over so it's easier to see, then drop it in there like that. And now I can adjust the length of my fade. So I want this one to be, about 2 seconds when it leaves too. So it's going to play along, play along, play along, and then it's going to slide out from the top to the bottom like that. And that's how we can use transitions to easily add animations to stuff without going in and doing stuff like keyframing and whatnot.